Welcome to the Grapple Culture Podcast. My name is Matt, and my goal is to give you the opportunity to get to know your favorite grapplers better. Get ready for deep insights, gym stories, and general cult of Jiu-Jitsu. Enjoy! My first guest is newly crowned heavyweight world champion, Adam Wardziński. Please note that this conversation was recorded at the end of February, right after ADCC trials in Zagreb. We talk about his performance at those, his approach to No-Ghee, and what is currently trending in Jiu-Jitsu. We also discussed his rivalry with Felipe Andrew, his new toy, octopus guard, and his mindset that let him try new moves in competition. Adam introduced us to the ideas behind brands he is involved in, which are Butterfly Army and Tough Guys Camp, details of his meeting with Dave Mustaine from Megadeath, and some fun stories about his tattoos. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hopefully you will enjoy listening to this conversation as much as I enjoyed being a part of it. Cheers! Hi Adam.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, great. How are you?
Good. Nothing better than two Polish people talking English.
Yeah,
Podcast.
definitely. And that's gonna be weird. But we'll manage. So let's start with the recent events. So ADCC. How was this tournament for you? How you felt? What about the result? Are you like okay with it, or you were looking only for a gold? What are your feelings after Croatia?
Oh, well, so first of all, very nice event. I'm not even talking about the organization or how it looked, but like my feelings about it, I liked everything about it. Like we decided we're gonna go by car there, so it's a lot of kilometers. We make a stop in Vienna on the way. We had a night there. We met with our friends. We trained a little bit.
With Paweł Kozłowski, right?
Yeah, exactly. Another day we made the rest of the way. We had enough time to like manage our way, to cut the last kilos, to have a walk in the city, like to be like professional, do our job, but also have some little bit of fun, as much fun as you can have when you're cutting weight. The whole thing was very nice. And then the tournament itself, there's always something about ADCC that it's a little bit different in many ways. Like the rule set's different, and if you're fighting IBJJF so much, sometimes the rule set is a little bit funny for you. You don't understand some things, like what's the reason for this and that. But at the end of the day, when you're fighting that rule set, it's kind of fun, I had a lot of fun fighting. It's a little bit harder to score points. So sometimes you're like, you're fighting and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to have that much points. And you're looking at it, it's just 2-0. And you're like, what? All right, let's keep fighting. Let's keep improving the score. Yeah, about the result, like it didn't go my way. I don't know if I got caught in the semis, and I don't know if my leg was like already maybe it was something wrong with my leg, or maybe it was tight enough. But as soon as my opponent grabbed like backside 50, my knee popped, and he didn't even like pull the heel. He didn't even head the heel. He just like make it tight on my leg, just grab it tight. I felt the pop. Thankfully, it's nothing serious. I already checked that. But yeah, it was like painful at that time. Days before, I felt it a little bit on that side of the knees. I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I don't know. It's a little bit injured from training. And usually, to be honest, at the training, I like to, if people are able to lift me up in the false reap situation, I like to kind of give them backside 50 because I like to defend that position. But at that time, it didn't work because my knee popped as soon as he got to the position. Well, you can say that it didn't go my way. But after that, even though my knee popped, I was able to fight one more fight and win and get the bronze. So I got like a little souvenir from the tournament. At the end of the day, I wasn't very salty about losing. Obviously, I hate losing, but I'm in the business for so many years and I've been winning big. I've been winning surprisingly. I've been making big upsets because people were thinking I'm going to win, but I didn't. So it went all the ways, and I've been in every single situation. And, at this point, I'm like, yeah, it just happened, but was it a bad adventure? No, it was awesome. It was a really good couple days with friends, and we had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed every stage of that thing, even like weight cutting and not being able to eat as much as I would like to, and like every single stage was actually giving me some kind of pleasure, like warming up, waiting for my fights, matches themselves. Yeah, I think like especially lately, I feel a lot more joy from every moment of the tournament. This was no difference, it was really like I had no pressure on myself, to be honest. I was like, yeah, let's just go fight by fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's perform good. Let's hit the moves I was working on, and let's see what's gonna be the result.
Yeah, about that, about your mindset for ADCC. If you had to compare it with your mindset for major IBJJF tournament in the gi, like Pans, like Worlds, like Europeans, was it like okay, you didn't give yourself so much pressure, or it was the same? How about that?
Many people probably won't agree with me here, and they're gonna be like, "Well, what he's talking about." But to be honest, I'm aiming more towards IBJJF majors than ADCC. Especially like No-Gi thing is more like a fun thing. I like training No-Gi. It's not like I'm gonna be slacking. I'm gonna be training No-Gi. It's in my routine, and I'm always preparing myself for every like major tournament. And I like fighting No-Gi, but my real love is a gi fighting. So I'll always have a little bit more pressure when it comes to the gi tournaments, just because I'm putting those tournaments probably in my head like more on a pedestal. Nogi is always like more for fun, It doesn't mean I don't want to win. I always want to win. I don't like losing. I hate losing. I like getting that gold medal. There's nothing better than that. Nothing better than those couple minutes when you're like, your hand is raised after the final, you're getting that medal, you have it in your hand, you're standing on the highest step of the podium. It's awesome. But yeah, like I said, the gi is my biggest love, So I always put more pressure on myself when it comes to gi tournaments, even though I'm trying to work with that. And I think it showed at Europeans this year. I was able to hit a lot more actions that I wouldn't usually hit at the big tournaments because I would be maybe a little bit afraid that they will not work. But I found out that whenever I give myself a little bit more space to experiment during the tournament or just do things that I'm not like 100% sure about, but I'm like, I train those things, but in my mind, they're not like 100% ready. They're not on the level of the butterfly guard, There's somewhere like below, but I will still give the chance to those moves. Usually I'm able to execute, and usually I'm really happy about it. And it makes my style a little bit more unexpected, which works very well. Yeah, so like I said, gi always a little bit more pressure, no gi a little bit less, but I still wanna win both. Losing sucks, hurts, so you don't want to be in that spot. If I sign myself up to the tournament, then I wanna win. If if I wouldn't like to win, I wouldn't sign myself up. Simple as that.
But it's a lovely thing to hear that you still growing as a competitor, even if you are, let's say, at the end of your competitive career. We're gonna go through that, but we talked also in the summer about that. So still I believe there are huge opportunities and probable success in front of you, but it's not like you are like a definitely. But it's lovely to hear that you still change something in your game, in your whole game, like not maybe one specific technique, but your approach. Is it something like you think about it and then you decided to started this protocol, or it show up like by itself?
I think it's never random, it's never random that those thoughts are coming into your head and then you're taking some actions. It's always, a matter of like thinking stuff through. And, I'm thinking a lot about like how I'm fighting, what's my approach, how should I approach the tournaments, because a lot depends on that. I've been through every situation. There was a tournament when I felt pumped and I was like 100% sure that I'm going for the gold. And there was tournaments when I felt awful, like in my head, and I didn't perform well, or like I underperformed because of that, for different reasons. Sometimes it's a little thing, like one time, like 10 days before the tournament, I had to pull out my tooth. I had like a huge pain. I had to pull out the tooth and it was healing, but if you're pulling out your tooth, they're not putting any stitches there. They just leaving it open and it has to heal itself, right? And if you're raising up your blood pressure, there's a chance that this thing will open, and then it can cause a lot of problems. And I went to the tournament having that in the back of my head, and I performed terribly that day just because I was always like, "Ah, I think I feel something here. Yeah, I'm warming up and I'm like, shit, I feel something here. I don't know if I should be here, and those little things sometimes they're like messing with your head. And yeah, so little things. But coming back to your question, there's always room for improvement in every aspect. Like you can work technically, you can work with your mindset, you can work with your strength and conditioning. Like every little aspect you can improve. And it doesn't matter on which stage of the career you are, because as long as you're fighting, there's always a chance you can win that tournament. Like bigger one, small one, but you can win the tournament as long as you're fighting. If you stop improving, then what's the reason for fighting? Like the whole thing is about improving. Like we're going to the tournament to test ourselves and see where we are. As long as you're not satisfied, which I don't know, satisfied for me would be like winning worlds. As long as you're not satisfied, why should you stop improving? Until you feel like I'm quitting jiu-jitsu, I'm giving up, I'm not fighting anymore, then you can stop improving. It's okay. But like as long as you're fighting, as long as you're in a fight and you have a dreams to chase, you need to improve. And every little aspect's important here.
Yeah, but you said that those techniques you started to use more in competition already been into your portfolio of techniques, repertoire of techniques, but you were a little bit afraid to use them on the big stage.
Yeah.
So was it like a conscious thought that maybe let's try this? And also, since you are already pan champion, European champion, that the only big thing you miss is like a world title.
Yeah.
Was it like a conscious decision, okay, to get to this level, to give myself a chance to be a world champ, I need to break another barrier, and maybe that's gonna be, I will try to switch my game a little bit? Or just it happened to started to work more on
your mindset? I don't know.
I think it's both things. Like if you put so much pressure on yourself and you're stressed, you're not gonna or it's very unlikely you're gonna use techniques that you don't feel like they're 100% there. Like they're in your system and you know every little detail about that technique, you know. So that's one thing. Like right now my mindset's more like, oh yeah, let's try it, and if it goes wrong I'm gonna figure something out. We're gonna see about that later, but let's try it right now. But also, like, you need to evolve your game. You can't be in jiu-jitsu, you can't be one trick pony. Everybody knows that I got those butterfly sweeps, but it's not only about the butterfly sweeps, because butterfly sweep itself is just the execution of some sort of combination of techniques.
Micro
So
movements.
yeah, so you have to like know how to pull the guy on his knees, or how to tie him up, how to make him tired, how to do this and that. And there's a lot of things to build around that butterfly guard game. And the more you go into that tree of possibilities, the more you discover options and connections between the gods, and how one move works well with another move. And like, the more I explored, the more I see like, oh, that would be useful, and this will be useful as well, and this thing would help in that particular situation. And I'm just trying to make my style a little bit rich. And like, that's one thing. So like a conscious decision, but also unconsciously, you want to, like I said before, you want to evolve, and you want to be better and better and better. And if you want to be better, you're gonna explore different concepts, and you're gonna take a deeper dive into like possibilities in jiu-jitsu. So I think like it's both conscious and unconscious thing. Yeah, the other thing is like I said, mentally, if you let yourself go, if you let yourself experiment a little bit more, and you're gonna be confident that if something goes wrong, you're gonna be able to to come back. Even if you get into a really bad spot, you're gonna escape, and you're gonna come back to the fight, and you're gonna win anyway. It's kind of your mindset that I'm winning no matter what happens. Then you experiment more, and you're gonna use.
Are there any, I don't know, specific techniques or guards or things like that that you hit on regular basis in the training environment but almost never used on in competition?
Not right now. Whatever comes into my game, and I use it at the sparring. Right now, I'm using it at the comp as well. And the good example for that is the octopus thing. I'm doing a lot. So I started to explore the concept more. It's a very old school concept. I think at some point Craig Jones brought it back to life a little bit, but I'm from Checkmat, so there was always this thing was always around, because Lucas Leitch was using that thing back in the days. So I was already like, even when Craig brought that back, I was already familiar with that concept, and we had a little connection with Teles as well. Teles is a good friend of Leo Vieira, so time to time he would come to our checkmat welds camp, and he would teach, or he would spar with us. So back in the days when I was brown belt, I can't remember him coming when I was black belt. But anyway, yeah, there was a connection. So I knew exactly who Teles is and what's his style. And his big thing is the octopus as well. Him and Lucas Leche, these two guys were the ones using it, and Teles had that old school instructional that you can even find on YouTube for free. I think it's called Turtle Guard and Octopus, something like that. And I was starting to like, I was looking into that, especially because after afterwards No-Gi, I wanted to have like a little bit of fun on the mats, not to like, like right away jump into a European scam. This is this was a thing that gave me a lot of fun because nobody has an idea what's octopus, and nobody has an idea, like very blurry idea, how to defend it, how to counter it. And usually when you're good in octopus, if they try to counter you, you're gonna just recounter. So it gave me a lot of fun using that on my friends because they were like clueless and they were like, what's going on? What are you doing? Like how this is working, you know? At some point I was thinking like Felipe Andrew is doing one pass on me that gave me a lot of problems, and especially at the Europeans last year. He's making like a smash pass or like a knee weave pass, however you're gonna call that. Then I was thinking like, hey, maybe this octopus thing would work good against that thing. I had that in the back of my head, and I was going to the finals with Felipe this year, and I'm like, all right, if he goes there, I'm hitting the octopus. What can happen? Like I'm already in a bad situation. If I'm gonna try. If I get into even into the worst situation, at least I tried, and I'm gonna see if it works or not. And then he went to the same pass, and I put that arm through. I grabbed the hip. Then I feel like he doesn't like that. He's starting to like he tries to escape the situation. So he just like stepped over my head. I keep escaping, and this gave me like a really, even though I couldn't counter him, it gave me a really nice escape from the dangerous situation. You know, I could recover my guard. At that point, I could recover and I could start attacking again, and ultimately I was able to sweep him and get to mount. And it was funny because I'm talking with my friend after the fight, and he's like, you know what? I was like looking at your training and I knew you're doing this octopus. And I was thinking that this octopus can work against Felipe's passing. But I didn't want to say a word because maybe then you get a little bit too much psyched about it and you're gonna look for it too much and you're gonna get into some trouble because of that. So I didn't want to tell you anything. And I'm like, you know what? I was thinking about using octopus against that pass as well, but I didn't want to tell you anything because I was afraid you're gonna say that no, don't do that, don't do that. It doesn't work. You're gonna get into the deep shit. Don't do that. So I said like, so I kept it in secret. He's like, oh, so we both kept it in secret. I'm glad it worked.
I believe that hitting new things, especially in this situation with your sport rivalry with Felipe, is even more important since you know each other very well. The strongest positions, strongest passes and sweeps. So hitting something new in this kind of matchup definitely very important. And I believe that Felipe already put the time into the board to for your next matchup.
Yeah, of course.
And what would you say? How important is to have such a rivalry? I use the word rivalry, but I know that you're on personal level. You are friends and everything's cool. But it's a sport rivalry,
Yeah.
and do you believe that having this one person which is always on the top with you and he's still a little bit ahead in case of your record between you guys, but last time you won, so you are on the positive side right now. Do you believe like having this like one specific person in your weight category is beneficial for you, or maybe having a more people on the similar level would be like more interesting, let's say?
So, like saying that it's only me and Felipe in the category
Of course
is
not.
it's not making justice to the category because I had a really tough bracket this year at the Europeans, and in the second fight I had a world silver medalist and the guy who previously beat me as well. There's a lot of people there. And if you look at pants, like every match until the final, I had somebody who could get to the final. I had Jimenez in the first fight. The guy's really good. He could easily be in the final. Then I had a fight with Demetrius Souza, and Demetrius is such a good guy. Such a tricky style. I think like year before he closed out with Mateus Diniz, the pants category. So easily he could be in that final. But like it turned out it's me and Felipe. I don't know if it's a matter of like it's a matter of a lot of little factors, I would say. It just happened a couple times. Yeah, like I said, saying it's just me and Felipe doesn't make a justice for the category because usually the category at the majors is really, really stuck. Going back to your question, is it important? Well, I think it's fun for everybody if we exchanging like victories and loses. It wouldn't be that much fun if I would be losing all the time. It wouldn't be fun at all. It wouldn't be even interesting for people because they would be like, "Oh, so it's Adam and Felipe. All right, so Felipe's gonna win."
Yeah, but chasing him would be also interesting.
Well, it depends when you're losing. If you're losing bad and you're getting your ass kicked every single time and you're being submitted every single time, it's like chasing, but you're really staying behind. But at this point, like when we're exchanging those, like sometimes I win, sometimes he wins, and makes the whole rivalry really exciting. Not only for us, I guess, but also for people watching it, and it's also important to make things in our sport exciting for people. If you want to have fans and people following you and making a living from the sport, at some point you have to entertain people. There's different ways to entertain people in jiu-jitsu, but like exciting matches are probably the thing that people are looking
So
for.
what excites you right now the most in World Jiu-Jitsu as a fan, as someone who watches?
To be honest, I'm very egocentric about that. So I'm usually just focused on my stuff. I'm gonna be, of course, I'm gonna watch some fights time to time.
Okay, last WNO, you watch it?
No, no. Yeah, the thing is that, like I said, I'm very egocentric when it comes to that. So if I'm preparing myself for the tournament and I'm gonna be fighting this guy and that guy, I'm gonna watch their fights. But I'm very rarely watching jiu-jitsu fight being a fan, like, oh, that's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna watch that for thrills. I'm usually watching for some reason, like studying, trying to break down somebody's game, or knowing that somebody has a game maybe similar in some aspect to mine. I want to see how they're doing certain thing to maybe elevate my game. Or I'm gonna watch people fighting because I know that my friend or my student is gonna be fighting those guys. So it's always for reason. It's rarely for fun, because if I'm not there, it's not fun for me.
Okay, interesting.
I've been to so many, like I've been to so many tournaments, like every level of the tournament. I know how it feels to be there. I'm always missing that feeling, being close to the spotlight. Just sitting at home and watching very often is like not satisfying. You're like,
I should be there. That this is your thought.
yeah, it's nice. It's nice, but I would love to be there fighting somebody,
Okay.
being part of that event.
Do you follow any other sport?
No.
You are just not a sport guy, I believe. Like even with jiu-jitsu, like you can't get excited about players or teams or rivalries. Am I correct?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I like to watch jiu-jitsu for the reason, and what gives me some kind of fun is like seeing how people execute techniques, but it's a tool for me like to get better and add something to my game. But I'm not really excited about people in jiu-jitsu. I'm not really excited about the teams, and I'm not, yeah, in general I'm not excited by sports. Like it's not my thing, you know. I
Okay.
like to do sport. I don't like to, I'm not a fanboy.
Okay, okay. So can you recall something that recently someone or something you studied and you get excited about the technique, not the match, maybe not the player, maybe gi no gi, I don't know.
Well, like I like to see how people do things I do, and they add a little bit twist to that, so the technique works a little bit different, or it's a little bit more efficient. And in that matter, I like, for example, to study Lucas Lepre passing style.
He's still competing?
No.
Okay.
Like I mean more like old matches
Okay.
and instructionals.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I like that because every time when I watch something, I'm like, hey, it's something that I would do, and helped me a lot developing. And yeah, like recently I was studying that octopus thing. Sometimes what I like to do, I like to just type the name on YouTube and see every video that pops up. So I'm gonna watch like maybe some matches, maybe just because somebody tagged Octopus God in that. I'm gonna watch some techniques, some maybe from BJJ Fanatics because they're posting some for free. Some instructionals from like top players and some instructionals from like no name guys, just to see like different ideas of from people about a certain position. I like to do that because sometimes even somebody who has no name will give you like a fresh insight. So I like to do that. You ask about players. I like players that I have a feeling that their style clicks with my style. Recently, I watched a little bit of Marcelo as well. Obviously, he's like a butterfly guard legend, but he has a lot of like stuff he does with wrestling, wrestle ups that I'm thinking about. I like looking back to old school players more
I
than.
see. I see. I was looking for some, recent names, like I don't know, Diego Pato or someone like that, and you started with Lucas Lepri and Marcelo.
Yeah, it's maybe because like we're in like a social media era, and you always have those things that those like people on top right now, what they're doing. It pops up everywhere, like highlights, videos, whatever, like reels. And so you kind of have an idea what they're doing, but about old school people, you need to do a little bit of digging. And jiu-jitsu is like not so much right now about inventing new stuff, but very often it's about rebuilding old stuff and adjusting old stuff to a new style. At least this is what I'm like feeling. So I like to look back and take some stuff from old school guys and try to adjust it to against new school guys, so it works again. And it can be a little bit surprising, because if you're in a competition circuit, you're getting used to certain style that people have and certain moves that are like in fashion right now. You know what I mean? Like there's always something like
Yeah.
Berimbolo back in the days, 50
Mhm.
50, stuff like that. There's always some trends, something's trending. Whatever's trending, I keep up with it. So I'm always trying to like break it down, stuff like that. But it comes like naturally because you're just like bombarded with those things from from everywhere. So willingly or not, you're gonna think about those stuff. But yeah, old school is something you need to dig a little bit more.
What would you say it is trending right now in gi?
In gi,
Yeah.
hard to say what's trending in the gi right now. I don't see something that sticks out so much in the
Okay.
gi. Like I see that what's in general trending more is like people willing to stand up more. So gi and no-gi people be wrestling a little bit more and adding more wrestling techniques, which is cool. It's nice to see it, like it's very viewer friendly. If it's like a good dynamic wrestling. The other thing I see like leg locks, of course, but it's mostly no-gi.
Sure.
I see things trending more in no-gi right now, but I can't really say what's trending so much in the gi.
Okay, and with this your approach, like to dig in more into past players, past champions, and find the things you could use in modern jiu-jitsu, do you believe that the same approach in no-gi would be also successful? Since, as you said, it's hard to tell what is trending in the gi. In no-gi, there is a lot of more of new school stuff. Let's say all those false rips, all the K guards and stuff like that. When when Match will start to talk about his game, I don't understand every word he's using, since there are so many guards and stuff and techniques and position that have some names. Do you believe that there is also a wisdom in the past for no-gi, or no-gi is on the rise and now the best stuff is invented right now?
It's not like this stuff is like every single thing is brand new and invented. There's a lot of like evolution, evolving the stuff from the past as well. Like we all knew heel hook back in the days, but most of the people they kind of they did it wrong or did it kind of like not so perfectly. Right now, people are breaking that things. They'll be breaking down those things a little bit more, and I feel like we have like more details and options, and we really know right now how the anatomy of the heel hook works. But like you can't say that no-gi is not digging in the past as well, because like look at the rise of body lock passing.
Yeah,
Body lock passing is a super old school technique,
sure.
and people use like old school people use body lock passing in both gi and no-gi. So that's one example. Body lock passing. Also, like look at the wrestling game of people right now. There's not so much shooting from the distance, like far distance, because people are afraid of like they're gonna be shooting from the distance, they're gonna get caught in like some kind of like guillotines and things like that. So what's on the rise? Fighting with the upper body, like classic Greco-Roman wrestling they
Yeah.
call it. Yeah, so that's also like old school, really old school. It goes back to ancient Greece.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those things, no-gi and gi are not so different from each other. Like people want to say that it's a different sport, this and that, but they have a lot in common, and it's no difference here. You can find good things in the past involved. Like you got clear examples, but I guess it's a lot more, and it will always be like that. Some things are trending, some things are a little bit forgotten, but then when things are getting forgotten by majority of the people, somebody will dig it up, will bring it back, and it will work perfectly because nobody's ready for that. everybody forgot, everybody's like somewhere else with their game, and then this guy's bringing back the weapon from the past, you know. So, and then if he wins big enough, then people put attention into those moves again, breaking it down, making it evolve even, and you got a whole circle.
Okay. Getting back for a little bit to ADCC, do you believe it's possible for you to get an invitation for the World Finals? You thought about it?
I don't know, like if I get invited, that's cool, but considering me being not so active in ADCC circuit, it was like first trials I did since 2018 and first ADCC event since 2019 finals. Considering this and considering that I didn't do so well losing in semis, I guess there's a lot more people in the circuit that they deserve invitation more than me, So I'm gonna be honest with myself about that. I'm not gonna be making like a Instagram campaign about pushing somebody to invite me because just my focus wasn't there on the ADCC. So why should I expect being treated by ADCC?
I can tell you why.
In a special way,
I can tell you why. Since it's not all about the performers right now, and you have your reach, you have your image, you have your game, which is attractive for No-Gi because it's not very similar to other people game. You don't go for a legs. You just still use butterfly hooks and sweeps and your basic gi game for No-Gi. So it's fun to watch, and I believe based on that you could get invitation. I know that you're not gonna do any campaign, I know you, but that would be still fun, and I believe with this, let's say, more marketing approach that we've seen in ADCC from few years since Mo step it up, it would be possible in my opinion, and it would be cool. I would love to see you once again on the World Finals.
Yeah, I would like to see myself as well. But like, if it happens, it happens. But like I said, I'm not gonna push anything, and I'm always willing to compete in big events. And it's not like it was my last word here. Who knows? Maybe I'm gonna come back next year and I'm gonna do trials again, and maybe this time I'm gonna win. Or maybe not. A lot depends in my life on things I do in the US right now, trying to get that green card. So this is like a big factor that usually holds me back from competing in Europe and held me back for a couple years from appearing at trials. But, who knows? Who knows what's the future? But like I said, if somebody will be like, oh, let's invite Adam, I'll be like, I'll compete gladly. But if not, I'm not gonna feel salty about it because, I know where I was for couple last years. I was like in the IBJJF circuit mostly. So
last question about ADCC, but I don't know if you feel to tell me more about it, since you said you focus more on yourself during the competition, which is normal. But there is always like a discussion about if European trials are getting better, about the level of competitors. There was even some trash talk not so long ago because Owen Jones had a fight with
some guy from
Dominic Mejia, something like that, from New Wave.
New Wave.
I believe he's from New Wave, and he was trash talking him about that winning European trials is nothing, and he will crush him. He won't. He didn't. He didn't. Owen won. But do you believe that, like, I'm sure that it's growing and it's getting better, but the question is, if we cutting distance to the US and the difference between, let's say, European trials and US trials is less right now, or they also go further and further and the difference is still the same or even bigger, they develop quicker. What do you think about it? Do you have some thoughts about it?
For sure, these European trials are getting tougher and tougher. There's no question about it. But probably from what I'm observing, I guess US trials, their divisions are a little bit deeper. There's of course they're a little bit bigger as well. I guess US trials are twice the size of European trials. I think that they're hitting in some divisions, they're hitting like a max cap. I don't know if it's a thing about ADCC opens only or ADCC trials are the same, but I think there's a max cap of like 250 something competitors, 52, I guess. But I could be totally wrong here. Yeah, Europe is far from hitting that numbers in terms of like quantity. But I think like the trials in Europe are getting better and better. The sport is growing here, but I don't know if we will ever be able to compete with the US in terms of like quality and quantity, because obviously we got like super talented guys here in Europe, and there's some good names popping up here and there, and probably there's more and more of those names doing better and better at the big scene. But US is kind of a mecca for jiu-jitsu right now, especially No-Gi, and there's people traveling to US willing to stay there, willing to live there, willing to train there for the full time, and they're traveling from all over the world. That makes a big difference probably as well. Like, you're bringing people from all over the world to raise the level of them, but also raise your own jiu-jitsu level just by the numbers of schools, the numbers of people training. You can get bigger in the US, right? So it's a quantity. Like you're gonna have more competitors if the number of school is higher and the number of students in the gyms are higher. So, and then the quality comes from like top schools being in the US. So I feel like at this point, of course, Europe is trying to catch up, and I guess European trials champions, semifinalists, maybe in some cases even quarterfinalists could do very good or even win with like American trials semi-finalists or quarterfinalists or even finalists. But I think US is on such a roll right now, and they move forward so fast that it's really hard. It would be hard for Europe at this point to produce as much top competitors as US. It's a different potential right now in both. So whatever happens here, I guess that's just a theory. I could be totally wrong here, but like if we're moving faster, let's say we doubled our speed, then US probably like tripled or even went even higher with their speed. Like I said, top competitors can catch top competitors from US, but like in general, I think US has a lot more potential to
Okay.
bring more top level people.
And do you believe we're gonna get a medal on World Finals as European trials winners will get a medal?
Hopefully, but you can't say before the brackets are out.
Of course you
or
can, but like
hopefully, I feel like it would be very very needed. I mean, Europeans got medals in the past. It's not like it would be something new, but I believe that whenever somebody from your circle's winning, you can use that as a motivation for yourself to get better and get the better results. this should be a big reason to cheer for European players at any stage, actually, like ADCC or IBJJF or whatever.
Yeah.
And the closer those people are to yourself, the bigger motivation you can get. So if somebody's from, let's say, Europe's winning, all right, that's a motivation. I'm European as well, so if he can do good,
Yeah.
if I put enough work, I can do as good as him. If he's a Polish guy, even better, because oh, Polish guy, so he's from my country and he did so well, so maybe I can do the same thing. But if he's from your friend or even from your academy, that's even better,
Yeah.
because you're closer to the journey. So
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely will have our fingers crossed for Marcin for Maciu. But also, I would love to see good result for Santeri, since he have so much connections with high level top Polish competitors that they can, if they, as you said, if they see that
our guys winning.
yeah, and they can compare their level to the guy who let's say get to the semis of the world's ADCC. So it's worth to see such a thing. Okay, Adam, let's switch the topic. You are in the T-shirt of Butterfly Army.
No, it's a
No?
Label Society.
Okay, sorry, but it's very similar to Butterfly Army T-shirts. The color
Black on green.
yeah. In case you have any doubts about it, I want Butterfly Army T-shirt, the green one. I will pay, of course.
The thing is, I'm not taking care of the whole selling system.
Okay.
So I always like to take that comfortable spot when I'm putting my ideas into work, and
And someone work for them.
if you put it, you can put it. Yeah, you can say it that way, but it's more like I'm using my talents in the best way, and somebody's using
Sure.
their skills in the best way. So I'm not dealing with that making process.
Yeah.
And in the advertising process, those are the things that I really like. But I'm really bad in logistics, so
Okay, but
I'm not taking care of anything.
tell me what Butterfly Army is or it's supposed to be, because correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that you want it to be more than like a brand of clothes.
Butterfly God Army actually is just like an idea that I had in my head about certain line of cloths from my project Butterfly Guard Club. So the project itself is called Butterfly Guard Club. I think that I'm a very creative person on many grounds, and I got my ideas in about the things in jiu-jitsu, but I also like the art in many forms. Like I like music, but unfortunately I'm not very good in creating that. But I also like all sorts of graphic arts, like drawing, painting, stuff like that. So I got a lot of ideas in my head coming from different backgrounds, and at some point I felt like, well, if I have those ideas in my head, why not trying to put that on paper as a sketch or on the computer, and then let's maybe make a t-shirt out of that, or some kind of merchandise, because maybe other people would like my idea and they would like to wear it as well, you know but the biggest reason for me to create that is put the things I have in my head into life, into put them on something, and piece of material is a nice canvas, because it's something you can wear, you can you can show it to people on daily basis. And I wanted to create something that some kind of like merchandise I would like to wear. So very often stuff that I'm like designing, let's call it that way, big word, but like let's say designing. They're having like a little rocky flavor, a little bit of like old school tattoo flavor, a lot of stuff that I like, like outside of jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to connect those things together. Obviously, like jiu-jitsu is the love of my life and my biggest passion and a huge, huge part of my life. But outside of jiu-jitsu, I like a lot of things as well, like music, I like concerts, I like old school tattoos, old school graphics, I like fantasy, science fiction. So I'm trying to bring those ideas together and somehow connect them, and it's fun. It's fun and it's very satisfying to see people liking the stuff I created. So giving me some like a nice feedback, like, oh, so maybe your ideas are really good, like the things that you have in your head, those like images, graphics, they're really aesthetically nice because people appreciate those designs. It's very like fulfilling, very satisfying to see people. Right now we're selling only in European Union, and almost every day we're getting messages about from people who from like Brazil, Asia, US, Canada, like, oh, when do you guys ship internationally, when you guys ship to US, when you guys ship to Brazil. It's nice. It's not like you're just pushing some kind of like pushing shit just because people like your jujitsu style. No, those people are asking about those t-shirts because they love how they look. Probably they love what they represent as well.
Are you looking to make it bigger? Do you treat it already like a business or future business, or it's still like a
Just a fun project.
fun project exactly?
So, well, it is a fun project because there's nothing more fun than coming up with the idea and making a t-shirt or rash guard out of that and just sending to people. There's nothing more fun than that. It's just coming straight from your head to others people's hands. Like they can hold that thing, they can look at it and, oh, looks nice. So it is a fun project, and I would love to keep it fun because when you're having fun, you're doing cool things. But also there's a business side of that because clothing business, it can be really easy or it can be hard, depends which way you're gonna take. Of course, you can take some like pre-made t-shirt and just print stuff on that and just sell because it looks nice, but at the end of the day the quality will be so and people probably won't use that for a longer time. We also try to take a little bit harder way. So we already like looking into like better quality materials. Our friend, he's making his own t-shirts. He's just buying the material and he has his like a t-shirt design, and there's ladies putting those t-shirts from pieces. So he's making t-shirts from the scratch. So we're trying to look for those kind of people. We're trying to work with some graphic designers that we like to create our stuff. So it's more about like coming up with the idea, making a sketch out of that, but somebody else more talented is working on that. So we're trying to go into that harder way to make better quality stuff, nice looking stuff, not like ordinary looking stuff. So you have to do some digging in the industry. This is where the business side comes. if you want to make nice stuff and you want to get deeper into industry, not only making like pre-made t-shirts and hoodies and whatever, then you have to take it a little bit more serious. You have to make some investments as well, because this is how clothing business works. You like pay in advance, you waiting, and then the merchandise is coming, and then you can start selling, so it's a lot of like planning ahead, a lot of different issues that comes on the way, sometimes issues that you don't even think about when you're like planning to go into that business. So of course I'm taking that seriously as a business as well, because at the end of the day, I don't want to just like, put money into that and freeze the money and get nothing out of it, like it gives you additional motivation when, like the company's working and you get some benefits out of that, so it's both fun project and business as well. And I think if you keep a good ratio between those two, it works well and gives you fun.
Yeah. So why am I asking? Because since last time we talked in Polish speaking episode, you said you seen it yourself as a competitor for another like 3 or 4 years, right? So what's next for you? How you want to, live around jiu-jitsu, since you're not gonna be like a regular competitor? Is it portfolio of your projects already in your head, or you are still figuring this out? You also are one of the co-founders of big camp in Poland. It's Mocne Chłopy camp. It's tough guys camp, let's say. Yeah, maybe let's speak. Okay, maybe tell me.
Let's speak about the future.
Tell me about the future, and then maybe a little bit details about the camp, because I want to make a little bit comparison to Leglock camp.
All right. Yeah, so I got my ideas about the future, and future unfolds itself on the way, So sometimes it's hard to think like 4 years ahead, because ideas and opportunities are popping out every single day. So I got my things I'm working on. Of course, I got the academy here in Poznan, and I got this butterfly guard club project, camp, as you mentioned. But also, I believe like your jiu-jitsu career doesn't have to end when you end the adult stage of it. I mean, of course, the adults are the most important part of it, but just being a decorated athlete in the sport as an adult, going to masters, still a lot of people watching, looking into you more, like trying to see what you're doing. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of masters in our sport. Like the biggest event of what is Master Worlds. So those people are, very often looking into masters people, how they're doing stuff. So it's not like your adult career has ended and out of the sudden there's no seminars, there's no instructionals. Of course there are, like especially if you're quite good in teaching, then this door is still open for you. Yeah, but I try to put focus into like different branches of business, just to like it's always good to have like more streams of income. I'm working on that constantly. You mentioned some of those things. I'm pretty sure that some other things will pop out, because I believe like sometimes it's hard to get involved in another project when you're so focused on competing. It takes a lot of your focus and a lot of your energy. But like when you're I guess when you're more into like master division and you're doing this more for fun, and maybe you don't have to grind so much anymore, or the grind's a little bit different. Maybe you're trying to like train a little bit smarter because, obviously you're getting older and in some ways a little bit more fragile. You have more space and more strength maybe to think about different stuff. So I'm pretty sure that more stuff will pop out, but I'm staying creative, always thinking about streams of income from
Okay,
different
so let's
spots.
talk about the camp. Why I'm asking, as I said, I want to make a little bit comparison to Leglock camp since they started around same time. I would say, I believe, and
I would say we've been first year.
around same time, not exactly same time. Okay, and you are like a very big camp in Poland. I believe 150 people last time, but correct me if I'm wrong, it's still a very Polish-based camp. It's a camp for mostly for Polish people. Of course, everybody is welcome, but Polish people know about it and visit. And Leglock started like a worldwide expansion right now, and they going big. They have like a camp in Thailand. I believe they are going to Australia. I can't even mention all the European countries they've been through. So are there similar plans for Tough Guys Camp, or you are happy with the model you are currently work on?
Well, it's a different model because we're doing things a little bit different than they do. First of all, our big focus is to make those camps in Olympic preparation centers in Poland, because you've been here and there, and you know that there's no place like those spots. Those spots, they guarantee like the best, probably the best sport experience you can have, because you have like nice rooms. There's like 3 meals a day, and the food is usually decent, and the mat space is very good. So we started our camp project there in the Olympic Preparation Center. We don't want to downgrade. We, as the organizers, we were very happy from the quality of the venue. This is the first issue. We did like a camp in Mallorca once, but we haven't been really happy with that
Okay.
because it wasn't how we do our camps. It wasn't exactly the experience that we can provide people in Poland. I think like from the spots that Leglock's picking in Poland, I guess they don't mind like their spot being a little bit more rough, but that's okay. If the people like that, there's nothing bad about it, because it's more about good training. If the training's good, sometimes you don't mind if the room's a little bit more rough and the food's maybe not perfect, but like whatever. Yeah, at that point we try to make our camp a little bit more exclusive, so people go there, they have a hard training, but they have like a good facility to rest as well. The other big thing about our camp is we're always trying to bring somebody from abroad, like an international star. So we had like tons of good people there, like starting from Alan Finfu. We got people from Europe like Max Lindblad. Before we had Aspen. We had people like Brazilians living in US. We had Miao. We had Lucas Lage, and a couple more people. Lately, we had Majid Hage.
It's funny that you're saying that so lightly, some meows, it's a huge
Friends.
thing.
Yeah, but it's they're friends, they're friends coming to the camp. So yeah, so this is another thing that we really really focus on. We wanna bring like top level players. I think leg lock is more focused on the organizers teaching, which is Wilko and Mateusz Szczeciński. They're taking care of teaching. And the thing about their camp is it's very mobile, so they can do it everywhere in Europe, because they're not always providing the whole experience, the whole camp experience, which is like accommodation and food. Sometimes it's more of a seminar, like couple days seminar, you know. So if we would switch our model into that, making it like a seminar, that would be a lot easier to make it anywhere in the world, because you just need the mat space and you just say, we train at this time and this time, here's the schedule, you guys taking care of the hotel and food. We can hang out after the training, but you take care of the other stuff, you know. It's a different type of a camp, different model, I guess. You know, like, it's okay, because everybody can choose whatever suits them, you know, like.
But you don't see the scenario where maybe not so quick, because the leg lock guys are really doing this quickly. They expand really, really quickly. Maybe if you take it slower and find the places you could trust abroad, you could still expand. But as I said, you are friends with Paweł Kozłowski-Grem in Vienna. So I believe that with cooperation, let's say it with him, that the camp in Austria could be done on the similar level of accommodation and stuff like that. And, you know, like, getting paid in euro is always nice.
Of course, I will agree on that. But again, it's like, it's a lot of headache, you know, like doing that things abroad, and you're never sure, will it work this time? Will it be as perfect as you're expecting? You know what I mean? So of course you can take a hotel and have a mat space. It's totally doable, but we're already making like 3 or 4 camps a year in Poland, and I'm teaching tons of seminars. And you know, there's not so much space for myself to do such a thing right now. That's one thing. And another thing is that, you know, just because we're like bringing people from abroad and doing that experience in Poland, it feels like we're inviting somebody to Poland, to see Poland, to have a Polish jiu-jitsu experience. You know, if you do it in some other countries, yeah, you can do that. You can invite somebody, but it's a different experience, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same. You know, we over the years we experiment with this and that, and turns out that this model works the best for us.
Okay.
You know? It's just that, you know, I'm still having like tons of seminars, and I'm teaching as a guest at the camps here and there. So, you know, my schedule is full anyway. So
Okay.
it's not like I have to really like strive to make another camp.
Sure, I understand. And about teaching, because there's another way of teaching, they're giving seminars, it's putting up your DVDs, your I hate this word. I hate it, and I'm not gonna be saying it. How many already if you have?
I think there's like 11 or 12 instructionals on BJJ Fanatics. Yeah, I'm trying to be consistent with that. Whenever I have like a idea what I would like to teach, and I'm really able to break down the move and make it, how to say that now, like, if you wanna, like, especially these days, if you wanna shoot an instructionals, you have to take a deep dive into a position you want to show. you have to show the complexity of the technique. Like in the old school days, you were just like, oh, all right, first technique, second technique, third technique. But right now, it's more about like concepts. What's your thought behind that certain techniques when you're doing this and that, and you have to be a little bit more detailed and a little bit more specific and like yeah, detailed. That would be a good word. You have to really be focused on those details and concepts behind the technique. So if I'm able to break something down into the bits that I feel like, oh, that would be really good for people to understand this and that. Then I'm shooting instructional, and I'm trying to be consistent with putting materials.
What would be your top instruction?
It's always butterfly guard, you know. So I believe a gi butterfly guard. These are my top sellers. Yeah, no-gi is doing good as well. And there's passing. Passing is like it's hard to advertise passing, especially my passing. It's like it's a lot of like pressure. It's a lot of like consistency that it doesn't look very flashy. It can be hard to show it in a digestible way, a
Yeah,
highlight in a short video, you know. So yeah, my passing I'm selling, but it's not on the level of
yeah, especially that your passing game, as I remember from my own experiences about incredible weight distribution and you being like a heavier than you're even in real life. So yeah, it's probably hard to even properly show up on the video. So
yeah, sometimes it's hard to show it in a proper way.
and about the revenue, of course, I'm not asking you about direct money, but how important in your overall income those DVDs are? Is it like a big part of your income right now, or it's
It's
a
a
additional one?
it's a significant part of my income. Of course, I'm trying to be in a spot where, let's say, tomorrow somebody will say like, "Oh, the internet is over. It's not working anymore."
Mm-hmm.
This other guy, and then I'll be still able to have a good life from jiu-jitsu. You know, I don't want to be just dependent on that one stream, but yeah, it's significant. It's significant, and you know, like I'm trying to make it better and better on every level. So
And do you know how good your videos perform against other DVDs? Like you are like, of course, like John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, there are the top sellers. But are you have any info, data, or insights from Bernardo or guys from BJJ Fanatics that you are, I don't know, like top 10 or something like that, or you don't know, don't care?
I don't know, and I don't really care to be honest. I didn't ask them about any data to be honest for like years right now because like I'm getting my money every month and I'm happy with that money and as long as I see that my work like marketing work raises up the numbers, then I'm happy. I don't know if like comparing myself to anybody else, like in any terms, like selling or popularity would be beneficial. You know, I'm more focused on my work, and again, I'm gonna be like, well, I can expect who's the top sellers. Like you mentioned Gordon and Danaher. So I'm time to time I'm gonna be like, looking
Mm-hmm.
how they're trying to advertise their stuff. But not only them. There's better marketing people. I'm always trying to see how other people are working, what tools they're using, and how can I adapt those tools
Mm-hmm.
into.
Yeah, I believe your biggest advantage is that you say butterfly guard and first person pops up in anybody who know anything about jiu-jitsu head. It's you. it's Adam Wardziński, so that's a big strength in case of doing specific DVDs about specific techniques, and you are like a butterfly guy, a butterfly guard guy, and you can get your views, let's say, from that. Yeah, so it's good for you.
I think also the big advantage of like the whole advertising machine here for me is that every move that you're gonna see on my instructional, at some point I hit that move on the competition. Some moves I'm hitting all the time. So the core of the instructionals, you're gonna see that core like on every tournament. So you don't have to ask yourself if those things are working. The only question, like if you're buying, the only question you have to ask is, how can I make this work for me?
Yeah,
You don't have to ask yourself, is it a bullshit or not? Obviously, it's not. You can see that every tournament, and I'm gonna be hitting those moves like on a small IBJJF Open somewhere in like in the middle of US. I'm gonna be hitting those things at the major scene, you know. So I think this is a big advantage. Like, yeah, people don't have to really think like, oh, is this move legit or not? It's legit. You can check it out at live rolling situation.
Adam, last time we spoke, you said it would be fun to meet Dave Mustaine from Megadeath.
Oh, yeah.
And it happened. And it happened. So talk me about that. How fun it was for you.
Yeah, it's a funny story. Actually, not so funny, but like interesting story. So I got in touch. I don't know on which stage I was when I was talking with you, because when I was in at the concert in Poland, I got in touch with Dave's bodyguard. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, and you know, he saw my cauliflowers and I saw his, so we talked a little bit, and then I posted some picture from the concert, and one guy tagged the bodyguard of Mustaine, and he asked like, "Oh, is it the event you've been working on?" And the guy like replied, "Yeah, I've been there. Adam is a nice guy," and we got in touch, and he invited me to the concert in Czech Republic, and we went, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you this like VIP badges, and you're gonna be able to meet Dave after the concert," but turns out that in Czech Republic, Dave had so much responsibilities after the concert, because there was like tons of people buying meet and greet in Czech Republic, and he was so busy that he couldn't meet me backstage. And I was like, oh damn, it was like so close. Probably I won't meet him anymore. And then I was in US, and Megadeath was playing their US leg of their tour, and I got in touch with by accident actually. I got in touch with Dave's jiu-jitsu coach, because he was like, I was like following him on Instagram, and he was asking something like, "Wait, what's your next Megadeth concert?" Something like that, like asking on his stories. And I replied, "See you in Reno." Then he wrote me like, "Oh, Adam, you're going to Reno, man. Let me fix like a backstage pass for you." So that was amazing, because when I got there, I got this backstage pass, and at that point I could like hang out everywhere backstage. I was like talking with Dave, and you know, like just chit chatting, but like also it was funny because we've been like, I didn't want to like, you know, be like a fanboy, and you know, like being like, "Oh, Dave, tell me this and that." I try to be cool, you know. And then I also understand, like, if you're about to play a concert, you need some peace of mind, you know. So then we went to to the coach's room, because he had his own room. there at the backstage, and we've been like talking about jiu-jitsu, this and that. And then Dave's coming and he's like showing us the set list for the concert, and he's like, what do you guys think? Is it a good set list? I'm like, yeah, looks fine. Yeah, so then I was like, the coolest thing was like I could like walk back and forth. I could go to the pit in front of the stage. Then at any point I wanted, I could go backstage. After the concert, we did some pictures with Dave, and just hang out for a little while and talk with the band. Yeah, was nice. Was nice. Really, really cool experience. Was nice to see. Was nice to see what's going on backstage, and was like good to talk with a guy who's like one of your favorite rock stars.
Yeah, and you have a chance to talk about jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, a little bit. Little bit. Yeah. Dave's like, he's really respectful towards martial arts people, When I got backstage, it wasn't like big Dave Mustaine talking with some random guy. He was like, oh, very respectful, and he was like, oh, how should I call you? Should I call you master or this? And I'm like, no, Adam's fine. And he's like, yeah, I heard you won a lot of tournaments and stuff like that. And, very, very respectful, because he's training martial arts for his whole life, And yeah, and there's a cool story after that, after the concert even, because when I got backstage, I got like a crate of merch from the band. So I had like t-shirts, hoodie, and cap. So basically I could wear like the whole outfit. I could put the whole Megadeath outfit on myself.
Nice.
And I started to use the hoodie as my warm-up hoodie for the tournament. And I signed up for Nashville Open. And Dave's jiu-jitsu coach, he's from Nashville. He has the academy there.
Mm-hmm.
So we hang out a little bit together, and he was there at the tournament as well. And then he saw me warming up with a hoodie. He made a picture and he sent it to Dave.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave wrote him back like, oh, say thanks for Adam for representing, and like
Mm-hmm.
that he's so happy that I won, and he's so happy that I wore that hoodie at the competition day. So that was nice, like nice connection,
Do you believe there will be a chance to train each other in when you're gonna be in US now?
Maybe, but the thing is, the one thing people need to understand, because I got like, after posting picture with Dave, I got so many questions like, did you train with Dave? You need to understand that Dave's like, a lot depends on his health, like touring. So he can't risk too much. Of course, I'm not insane, so I wouldn't go hard with the older guy. But again, like, he doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not insane. That's the first thing. He may be afraid that maybe I'm gonna get too excited trying to show him that, oh, look how good I am, or something like that. You never know. He doesn't know me like on a personal level. And another thing is that Dave's also like cancer survivor, and he has tons of health issues, So taking that into account, I don't expect him willing to train with me. If it will happen, yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, like if it won't, I totally understand that. But yeah, probably at some point we're gonna meet again, because I love rock shows, and I'm always trying to be present. There's Megadeath touring in Europe this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I got invited to the shows.
Are there gonna be in Poland?
Yeah, there's gonna be one at Mystic Festival in Poland, actually in your city, Gdańsk. But I don't know if I'm gonna be around at that time in Europe. But if I will, yeah.
Then come to
I'm
spar
going.
to us.
Yeah.
When you conducting a training session, in Checkmat in Poznań, here in your club, in your place, in your environment, you are putting up the music for a training. And do you just play what you like, or you decide that this is good for a jiu-jitsu session, or this is don't?
Well, I guess we could be a little bit more professional about our music in the academy, but I also think that like a little bit of freedom in that matter it can also work well. So usually coaches when they're teaching, they put their own music, the music they like. So very often I'm gonna be suffering listening to that. So I'm like, all right, so whenever I'm teaching, I'm gonna put what I like. I'm not going too hardcore, obviously, but like, trying to keep that common sense. I'm trying to put something like rocky, but not too heavy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I keep it rocky, of course. Yeah, I guess probably it would be a little bit more professional if we would have like our like Jim's Spotify account with like music, like for a little bit of everything for everybody, not going too hardcore in any direction. But yeah, like I said before, a little bit of freedom here and there is nice. And some people gonna be complaining about my music. I don't give a shit. I'm like, yeah, if you don't want to listen to my music, just go to Nidex class and you're gonna have a gangster rap. So if you're if you're more into that, just go there. Here we keep it rocky. I have to educate you. I feel obligated to educate people not only about jiu-jitsu but also about like good music.
As I seen, you are a little bit metalhead club, since Patrick also went to the concert with you.
Yeah. We
Dominic
got
also.
people. Yeah, we got people listening to rock music as well, metal music. This is like the big part of the club. They listen to metal music, but it's like not everybody.
Is it
Obviously.
like in US, just like you said, there is like a neutral club team playlist and
Sometimes, but usually not. Usually not. Even in a big gyms, they're gonna be playing like Brazilian funk, which is the worst type of music ever. Yeah, or like gangster rap or whatever. Yeah, like usually it's like it's up to the instructor. Yeah, I've been to some gyms that they had their own like gym iPad with a Spotify dedicated to the gym with their own playlists, and maybe that's maybe a good approach, but bit of freedom here and there it's not a bad thing.
And did you ever been in some place where they choose really weird music to play? I'm thinking about it a lot. I talk about someone with in my podcast about that the kind of music that is on during the session can probably have a huge
Affect
impact
the
on the performance mindset. I don't know. It's worth to to study a little bit. I know that there was a girl in our team in Złomiasz that she's in training right now, but she was a psychology. She had a psychology degree, and she was designing some study about the music during the training. I believe it never happened
to come out.
to come out, but it would be fucking interesting.
Yeah, of course. It impacts a lot of things for sure, but I guess it only impacts you if you're really focused on music. Because I find myself like when I'm rolling, very often I'm not gonna be even like I can't tell you what song was playing, especially if it's not music I like. Of course, when a song that I really like hits, yeah, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's my song. I'm not losing that
Mm-hmm.
sparring. But it's not it's not that you're always like aware what's playing, you know. So very often it's just a background, let's call it background noise, you know.
It probably would be easier for you to recognize what is playing right now if you take the rounds off, but you don't take
Yeah,
rounds off. So
yeah.
okay, sticking with the topics not directly about jiu-jitsu, what is your most crazy tattoo?
Crazy tattoo.
Yeah, since you have like a lot of separate
Yeah.
images and they have like the common style of old school tattoo style, but I don't know, is it like most of them are meaningful for you, or just is like it's pretty, it's nothing more?
Most of them have some like some meaning behind them. Though of course it's very important for me for them to like, you know, to look the way I like. But I think there's not so much craziness here, I guess. I don't know, maybe I got used to that. The tattoos I really like, I got like a rock and roll like inscription on my shoulder. And inscription itself, the letters rock and roll, that was the first tattoo I made when I hit 18. So like the legal age that you can go to the tattoo studio and you can have it here in Poland at least. Uh, yeah, so I was like, all right, I love rock and roll. Let's go. Yeah, so that was my first tattoo. And then I put like some more stuff around it, like skull and knife and stuff like that. Dagger, actually. But this is the one I really like because everything started with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's the thing I like describes me a little bit. Like, you know, I didn't have too many. Like right now it's a little bit more popular, but I didn't had too many friends having tattoos back in the days, like when we've been 18.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I guess it's a little bit more popular, a little bit more mainstream. But when I did that, people were like, "Oh shit, you're crazy! Rock and roll, I love it." You know, even though it was just a couple letters on my shoulder. I was actually hiding I had couple tattoos when I was still living with my parents, and and they never saw them. After some time, I stopped caring too much. But yeah, like this one I was hidden always, always when I was
Okay.
18. It's still in a high school. And it was funny because one day I'm on the walk with my grandparents and we're talking about vaccinations. And there is a kind of vax that leaves a mark on your skin, like a little scar. I can't remember which one was that. Like, oh, very old school vaccine.
Yeah, and mostly our parents' generation, oh, they all always
Yeah,
have
yeah,
this
yeah. I think
very
it's a chicken pox or something like that.
yeah.
And my grandparents. So we're walking casually. My grandparents are asking if I have that, and I remember I had a little scar here, and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I have it. And I put my sleeve up, and I'm like, oh shit, and put it down, and they're
And
like,
it was too late.
yeah, they're like, what was that? And I'm like, ah, damn, tattoo. And you know what? Mom and dad, they don't know about it. So maybe let's not talk about it at home. And they're like, all right. But they were not really happy about that one.
So when was the last time you did a tattoo?
Probably like 1 year ago or something. The problem
It's
the
starting to being itchy
no, I mean
to make another one.
yeah, it's always itchy. The thing about tattoos, like they need a little bit of time to heal, and I don't like to stay off the mats. And usually I'm like, there's two wolves fighting inside me.
Mhm.
One wants the tattoo, the other one doesn't want to stop training at all. And I'm like, all right, but I can do it on, like, usually I'm doing tattoo on Friday, and I'm trying to heal it as much as it's possible over the weekend, and then hop in on the mats on Monday.
So give it like a 3 days.
Yeah, which is obviously not enough, but and usually it makes it those tattoos healing a little bit worse, a little bit longer sometimes. But like after some time they gonna be healed. But then it's still in the back of your head, like, oh, I don't want to get infection and
Mhm.
I should rest, but I want to train as
Mhm.
well. So considering that, very often I'm gonna hesitate with tattoo with a new tattoo, just because I wanna train as much
Mhm.
as possible. Yeah, but it's coming. It's coming, obviously. Yeah.
This is exact reason why I scheduled my tattoo for April, when I was supposed to get recovery from the operation. But now I'm, based on the opinions of my physiotherapist, I'm hesitating to make this operation. So now I don't know.
There's a question mark about your tattoo.
No, there is no question mark. I'm gonna do it, but maybe I could just call them and say, okay, do you have like a
Date right now.
the date right now?
Yeah.
Probably if I had money for it right now, I would
Yeah, you would do
already
it right now.
do this. But it's gonna be made, right? Your next tattoo.
Oh yeah, like,
Something specific in mind?
not really. The funny thing is that I got like a voucher from my brother for Christmas. It's for the tattoo to the guy I like to get my tattoos from, and the voucher says it's specifically for the neck tattoo. So it's very tempting to make a neck tattoo and put the blame on him in front of parents. But we'll see.
Checkmate logo
Maybe.
or Butterfly Army logo.
Yeah, maybe.
So there is more than one artist who made your tattoos.
Yeah. I would love to expand more, though. I would like to make some tattoos in US. Maybe on this trip. We'll see. There's so many cool spots in US, and tattoo, especially traditional tattoo culture is really big there.
Mhm.
So yeah, but it's always something I would love to do, but then again, I wanna train, and when I'm in the US, I want to train hard even more. So it's usually hard for me to do that, but yeah, sooner or later.
About US, since last time we spoke, you said you are going to make it your second home.
Yeah, that's still a plan.
Yeah, so tell me, what's the plan? Yeah, where you wanna to stay, where you wanna train, what your goals with the next visit.
I can't remember what was I saying last time, but the goal stays the same. I don't want to get too much into like details of a process, but the goal still is to get the green card. And the only reason why it takes so long right now is just because we want to stay mobile, and I want it to be like a little bit in Europe, a little bit in US. But yeah, sooner or later we're gonna apply. Everything is really like fluent right now, and nothing's for sure. Like, we're living our adventure and we're having a good time. I'm talking here about me and my family. We're still scouting for the spot that we would like to base in, but we have couple places that we're like more into. But we'll see. The like right now we're living our adventure. We're having fun. We really do. So we don't wanna tie ourselves up too much right now with one spot.
But like you are going there in like a few days, right?
Yeah.
So what's your first destination?
I'm gonna be a little bit at the East Coast, and after that, California. But many thing depends on how long we're gonna stay there. We have some like cool plans that they may happen or may not happen. We would like to visit Hawaii. For sure, we're gonna be a little bit in Colorado. We're gonna stay a lot in California, so we're gonna have a good time. We're always trying to explore a little bit more the places we stay in. Always taking advantage of a like free time to see some cool spots. So it's not gonna be any different right now.
You said that your goal is to visit all the states.
That would be nice, yeah.
And last time I checked, it was on 14. Is it
Something
more?
like that. Something like that. But I don't know if did I expand? I think I had a couple. But yeah, it's a slow process.
You have to start to track it some way.
Yeah, at some point we track it a little bit with my wife, but I forgot. Some states are not even worth going to, to be honest.
But the goal is the goal.
But yeah, these probably will leave for the last part of the journey.
Okay, let's call it. It's Nebraska. It's Wyoming. It's a Midwest.
Yeah, but some Midwest states have they have some nice nature to offer. So it's not like every Midwest state is boring.
Sure.
Some of them are not really like worth going to, but yeah, for sure we're gonna go to Washington State on the next trip, and like I said, I would like to go to Hawaii. Let's see. We're gonna add something to the list for sure.
There was most interesting thing for me you said last time was about this kind of visa you are getting, that you have to prove that you are
special ability visa.
Talk a little bit about that since we have like another audience. So but it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so US is always trying to get like experts in different fields to their country, right? So you have like, for example, this like there's something like a green card lottery here in Poland. So you can apply and you can write like all your infos, like where you've been studying, this and that, and they're gonna pick probably the best person to fit into US, so like probably the most educated and specialized and stuff like that. So this visa works a bit similar to that. So you have to prove that you're like a leading person in your field, not only winning tournaments, because this is what every competitor does, like you're winning here and there, but the most important part is like what impact you have on the part of society you're working with. So our big goal was to show that my thing is a butterfly guard, and this is a style which is not so common these days. And I'm teaching a lot of seminars. There's a huge interest in that, and I impacted the style of like young generation. They're looking more into that style right now because of me, because they see that this style is still efficient. And combining that with some titles and medals granted me the visa.
The most funny thing you said then, it was that you even provide them with transcripts of podcasts.
Yeah. You have to provide a lot of things. It was like a huge pile of documents. It's everything. Interviews, like written interviews, transcripts. The more you can provide, the better for you, you know? So there's like, I think there's like 10 or 12 things they're looking for in your application. And if you succeed with like, I think 4, you're gonna get the visa. It's almost impossible to succeed with all of them, because it's like, you're working on different field than other people. It's almost impossible to succeed with all, but like if you're good with 4, they're gonna grant you a visa. So yeah.
Adam, since you have like a very specific interest outside of the mats, please tell me your recent culture recommendations.
Culture Which kind of culture?
Anything fun you've read or you've watched or you've played a game? What these days gives you pleasure outside of the mat and spending time with your family?
Well, so last time we talked a little bit about books,
Yeah.
and I said that I'm into Warhammer 40K books. Well, since that time, nothing changed, but I'm just like couple books ahead. I moved couple books forward, but yeah, it's a long journey
How
through those.
many are in front of you?
Oh, a lot, still like 30 or something like that. But yeah, like yeah, I'm into Warhammer 40K stories, but like the coolest cultural thing I could recommend to people is going to the hardcore concert. This this is so much fun, you know. Like the music's heavy, so it's my thing. But also like it's different than typical rock concert. People a little bit more crazy. The energy is a little bit crazier. People are jumping on top of the crowd surfing, doing all sorts of crazy stuff like mosh pitting. So you can like spend a decent amount of energy there on the concert.
And what artist of this genre you would say would be the best to visit their concert?
We've been this is a cool story. I've been to California like last year at the end of the year, right? And my wife and my kid, they had to go back home. They had to go back to Poland. I wanted to compete at World's No-Gi, so the deal was they're coming back to Poland. I'm staying 2 weeks more in US, and then I'm going back to Poland as well. Luckily, when they left, couple days later, like 2 days later or something like that, my friends started to come to also train before World's No-Gi and hang out in the US before World's No-Gi.
Mhm.
So the almost at the same time, student of mine and good friend of mine, Nidek, came to California, and also my business partner who I organize camps with, Watson, he came to Las Vegas, but he was willing to make a drive to California. So they came to California the same day, these two guys. And I'm like, all right, guys, so it's Saturday, and I have an idea for you. Let's go for a hardcore concert because there's like 30 minutes driving from our house. There's like a nice venue, and they having some like hardcore bands, legends playing, and they're not like too much into rock music. They like a little bit of rock music, especially Watson. Nidek is more into rap music, but there is some sort of connection between rap and hardcore that I'm not really I don't know much about it, but he knows a little bit more about it. And I took them to Biohazard concert. So this is like a legendary hardcore band, and before Biohazard, there was a Madball, which is also like really legendary band from New York, and they had fun there at the concert, even though they didn't know songs and they were not so much into like hardcore scene. They were pretty new to hardcore. They still enjoyed the energy and like the raw energy coming from the band and
Mhm.
the whole crowd energy and craziness. So yeah, cool experience.
Nice, nice. Yeah. It has to be fun to see Nidek on the hardcore concert.
Yeah, but he enjoyed it. They both did. I saw it because after the concert they were like they were pumped, and they were like talking about the concert for a couple more days, like coming back to the concert, like
Nice.
remember this guy doing this. It was fun for sure.
Yeah, I also like to visit many kinds of events, let's say cultural events, music events, and just observing the people, the way they having fun. It's very interesting. Like I was this summer, first time I was on some, let's say, techno party. It's a big party around this monument in Gdańsk, Twierdza Wisłoujście, and there's a once a year a big it's not a techno, it's like electric music. I don't
Mhm.
know how to call it. And I'm really not, I wasn't into it, but I just wanted to spend time with my friends and see what it's all about. And it was a fun night. It's a fun night of watching people and enjoying myself. So it's worth to get out of your comfort zone and see something other. So yeah, fun, real fun. Adam, one more thing, Jiu-Jitsu connected. Brasileiros this year.
Maybe I'm considering going. Still, I need to like.
I'm looking for like a tough statement. Yeah, this year I'm going to Brasileiros.
I don't know yet. Like I have this idea in my head, and I put it on Instagram yesterday.
Exactly. Now it's on paper.
Just to
let's say.
steer the pot a little bit. But yeah, I still have to like talk with my wife and plan it a little bit and see if we're gonna go together or not. Like
Make
it's
it like
something
an old school tournament where you
Yeah.
go, by yourself
By
or only your
myself.
teammates.
I don't like going by myself so much right now. Like I've been to tournaments by myself a lot, and very often it's not fun. Like I mean, like the tournament itself, you're gonna manage, you're gonna do your job, but like everything outside of the tournament is better if you have a family with
Mhm.
yourself or your friends. So yeah, I need to see about that. I'll definitely speak about it with my wife, and we're gonna see what's our idea about the trip. If my family is willing to go with me, or maybe I will have to like convince my friends. Nidek was talking something about it too, so we'll see. But definitely it's on the table, and yeah, I'm gonna take a closer look at it probably in March.
Gringo winning in Brazil, it would be fun.
Yeah, it's always nice story, but yeah, it happened before, like Americans
I
and
know, but
even like Alexander Trans from Europe, like years ago, he won Brazilian nationals, but it's still something, It's like it's not the trip that many people are willing to take, and it always gives a good flavor to the victory
I
when you're
think
winning
it would be like
in
a
Brazil.
fun experience for you, because
course,
that
yeah.
would be, I believe there would be a different energy in tournament, the biggest tournament in Brazil than anywhere in the world. So
Maybe.
yeah,
I've been to tournaments in Brazil, and it's there's Brazilians everywhere, Europeans, well, so it wasn't so much different
okay.
than other big tournaments, but yeah, it's always good to be in Brazil. I like Brazil.
Okay, Adam. Last question, my regular question. First thought: someone calls you, someone want a private lesson with you, someone famous outside of the martial art world. Who would you like it to be? First thought.
Thought, I thought about Gene Simmons, but he's old.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Gene Simmons from Kiss. Why not? Would be nice. Like, I love rock music. Rock music is a big part of me. So, yeah, I'll always think about rock stars. Probably it's because I'm willing more to connect with them than any other type of like celebrities, like actors and
Okay, so we're starting our collection of famous people with Gene
Let's
Simmons.
start our Instagram campaign to bring Gene Simmons to Jiu-Jitsu.
Brings Gene Simmons to the mats. Okay, sounds perfect. Adam, thank you very much. It was an honor to have you as a first guest of Grapple Culture Podcast.
Huge honor. Huge honor.
Of course. We talked about Bernardo last time, and my question was, is it the sweet guy he seems to be? And you said, yeah, he is. It seems sometimes fake, but it's really true.
It is true.
Time for you on the mic if you want to say anything for Jiu-Jitsu community or for your people. Now it's time for you.
Guys, if you make it to that point, listening to 3 hours of bullshit.
Yeah, like two. Like two.
Maybe 2. Thanks for being with us. And yeah, follow the journey on social medias, and I see you around on the tournaments.
Great. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the whole episode. In case of any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave a comment. And to make sure that you don't miss any new episodes, follow us on Spotify, YouTube or Instagram. Cheers!